Hi guys, my name is Camilla and welcome back to the Dye-Free Baker. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to mix red royal icing using absolutely no artificial food dye. If this is something that you've struggled with, you are not alone. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to mix vibrant red royal icing with absolutely no synthetic food dye. We are going to be using Supernatural red powder from their holiday edition. And through this video, I'm going to show you how to mix it, what it looks like straight after mixing, how it develops over 24 hours, and some troubleshooting as well. So let's jump in. Before you get started, make sure that you have your pre-made royal icing. You have a bowl to mix it in. You have your measuring cups and any measuring spoons that you may need. You have a soft tipped spatula. You need some water, preferably distilled water, and then you need your food coloring. In this case, it is the holiday edition red from Supernatural Kitchen. So we are going to start off by first measuring out the amount of icing that we're going to use. In this case, I'm using a 1 cup measurement. I always recommend to only color the amount of icing that you need, but in this case I'm making a little bit more just for the purpose of the video. Put this 1/2 cup of icing into the bowl that you're going to be using to mix it in. There you go. Always put it a little bit to the side because I actually like mixing my powder with the liquid that I'm going to use to hydrate it directly in the same mixing bowl, so that I don't have a mixing bowl that I've got a bunch of color that stays behind. So I'll show you exactly how I do this. Many people choose at this point to use a separate bowl to hydrate the powder. So what I mean by hydrate is to add a little bit of water to the powder to make it into a liquid consistency, which makes it easier to mix into the icing. So a lot of people do that in a separate bowl, but I prefer to do it in this same bowl because I feel like some of the stuff always gets left behind in here. This is a personal preference, as well as hydrating your powder, because that is not a prerequisite for using powdered colors. You can actually add the powder directly into the royal icing, and I do that often, but it does help you to see the color ahead of time and give you a better idea of what you're working with if you hydrate the powder. So I'm going to show you the method where you hydrate the powder, and then you can at least see a bit better what color you are going to end up with. Something that I want to point out, which I really love that they put this on their branding, is that this may smell very strongly of beetroot, because that is what has made this powder up. It's made of beetroot, but that doesn't translate into what your icing is going to taste like, as long as you don't oversaturate this color. So keep in mind that it may smell a lot like plants, but that doesn't mean it's going to taste that way. Okay, I'm just doing this over a bowl in case it messes. I am using a 1/2 teaspoon measurement, which I know may seem like a lot, especially considering that there's not a ton of powder in here, but I am mixing a whole cup of royal icing. So you need to make sure you're using enough color when using natural colors before trying to troubleshoot why it's not getting the right shade, and it's usually because you haven't added enough powder. So we're going to start with a 1/2 teaspoon of coloring per 1 cup of icing. Okay, I'm going to try my best to show you how I do this. So I typically just put it onto the side over there, and then I'm going to take my distilled water, and I'm going to take my 1/4 teaspoon measurement, and I'm going to add a little bit of water here. I might not even use the whole quarter teaspoon, but I'm just going to put some of the water in here, and I'm going to make this red into a paste. Also, go and grab yourself a clean, like I said, soft tipped spatula so that you can mix this. So let's go ahead and add the color. Now, a lot of different manufacturers say that they use a 1-to-1 ratio of powder to color. I typically use a little bit less. I want a more vibrant color, and so I just mix enough that it's going to be a paste. Okay, so you can see it's a thick paste. It's not, there's a drip, but it's not running off of the spoon. All we're going to do is work it into the icing. Supernatural Kitchen is not typically my first choice for dye-free, like the dye-free brand that I use, just because they don't have a huge variety. But this red is just, it's so easy. Some of the other brands that I like using, and the red is comparable, is Prism Sugar Co. They have just bought out True Color, and so both of those brands work the same because they're the same brand. And so you just want to make sure you mix this really well. They have a very wide variety of colors, but I find that sometimes the red and super red needs a little bit of tweaking, and the supernatural is just like instantly red. So this is in natural light. It's the light coming in from my kitchen window, and you can see it's already pretty red. One of the things with natural colors is that you want to leave the color to develop. Typically I leave reds and very dark colors like navy and black to sit probably close to 48 hours, which probably sounds insane, but if you plan ahead, you will definitely thank yourself for doing that, because this color is going to continue to develop and it is going to be even more red as time goes on. But I think that is a pretty good red already to begin with. So I'm going to just wrap this up. I'm going to leave it overnight, and then I'm going to come back and film tomorrow and show you guys what it looks like after sitting for roughly 24 hours. And it's really as easy as that. And again, just for the measurements, it was half a teaspoon of the red from the holiday edition of this supernatural pack that you get. It's the red color from there. It is 1 cup of icing to half a teaspoon of powder. I just want to show you in natural light that this is what it looks like before letting the color develop. One benefit of hydrating is that you'll see there's no speckles in here. So often when you use powder-based colors, if you don't hydrate, there are speckles that you will see as well of color. That's not an issue, it's totally normal. And when you remix your colors after allowing them to develop, then all of those speckles should be gone. Hey guys, we are back, and it has been 24 hours of allowing this color to develop. You will notice that I have covered it in a wet piece of kitchen paper, and I try and do this if the plastic wrap is not sticking nicely. So let's see how this color looks. Guys, can we see how important it is to allow your colors to develop for 24 hours? This is absolutely beautiful. Let's mix it in. see what we have. Make sure that you're working in any of the little speckles that may have been left behind by the food coloring. And this looks absolutely perfect. I don't think it gets more vibrant red than this, let's just be honest. Right, so now that you've seen how much the color develops in 24 hours, I think we can both agree that the key to vibrant red royal icing naturally is to allow the color to develop. This is one of the major components of using natural colors and how it differs to artificial food dye. And that is allowing those colors the time that they need to get really deep and vibrant without using too much. Some other tips to consider when you are trying to make a vibrant red royal icing, especially if you are not using this supernatural red in the holiday edition, is that some colors will require a little bit of tweaking. So if you're finding that the color is leaning more towards a pink side and it's a deep, vibrant pink instead of red, you can add a little bit of yellow or a little bit of orange to brighten it up. And another thing that you can consider doing is making sure that your icing is more on the acidic side. What you can do to rectify this is to add a little bit of lemon juice or a little bit of cream of tartar. This will help really deepen that color. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this, please share it with a friend and make sure that you hit that subscribe button for more dye-free decorating tutorials.